the extrabet.com Huxley Stakes, this Group 3 contest over the extended mile and a quarter. Halicarnassus and the black and yellow silks, one of the first to break, with staying on in the cerise jacket, and at the end of a half furlong staying on, strides on to the grey Yarab crossing over. Reining off them, Halicarnassus races quite keenly as well, with Espresso Star, the green jacket up the inner. Logic Way in the headgears pulling hard, and Dr. Fremantle, pink cap, takes a firm grip and pulls his way onto the hills, the leaders, as they go into the turn. And Halicarnassus stumbled there going into the bend and has been shuffled back through the field. Meanwhile, Fairmile in the grey jacket tucks in on the inner. Logic Way's awkward around the bend. Indian Days is last but one, and Bushman is last of all. It's a generous pace here as they race along the side of the course for the final 6 furlongs, and staying on sets it. A couple up from Yarab, and then Dr. Fremantle races wide of Espresso Star. Halicarnassus, black and yellow jacket, is racing wide of Fairmile. They in turn are being followed through by Logic Way. Indian Days is towards the rear of the field, with Bushman, the grey, now just moving past it. Frenetic early gallop has slackened a little, passing through the halfway points, and the field just begins to cluster a little, and staying on has the advantage. It's a shade over length to Yarab. The pink cap of Dr. Fremantle races in 3rd position alongside Espresso Star, the Lincoln winner. Halicarnassus and Fairmile next, and then Bushman, Logic Way, and Indian Days a couple of lengths adrift. Quickening now down towards the final 3.5 furlongs, staying on, pestered by Yarab. Espresso Star's got a nice sit on the inside of Dr. Fremantle, who's yet to be popped the question. Bushman, the grey, is creeping up on the outside of Fairmile. Halicarnassus is ridden along. Logic Way and Indian Days both pushed along at the back of the field. Swinging off the final corner inside the last 2 furlongs, staying on, railing well. Yarab throwing out the challenge. Dr. Fremantle is going to challenge widest of all. Espresso Star is seeking a passage now, gets the gap as Dr. Fremantle begins to lean on in. Staying on, joined by Dr. Fremantle. Espresso Star between horses, a little short of daylight. Inside the furlong they come. Dr. Fremantle has got to the front here from staying on. Espresso Star between them. Staying on, comes back for another crack at Dr. Fremantle, and it's tight. Staying on, fought back bravely and gave himself another chance alongside Dr. Fremantle. They went past together. Espresso Star was in behind them, and right behind these Fairmile Indian Days.
What a fantastic finish, what a fantastic race for the Huxley Stakes. The photograph has officially been called between Dr. Fremantle, who was leaning to his left, having been keen in the early stages. He led to his left in the straight. That didn't give Espresso Star, who's finished 3rd, that much room. The head-on will show you how much. But staying on, the early leader, was he headed? I'm not even sure he was headed, but he certainly rallied and fought like a lion all the way to the line to give himself a chance in a photo, forcing a photo. This is Dr. Fremantle just going to his left in the closing stages. The whips are up and the horses are all battling strongly. Staying on has rallied and showed an excellent attitude on the inside, and Espresso Star has also gone down fighting, and it is very, very close. That tells us that Ryan Moore has got it. The correct side of a photo, perhaps. We're thinking that it's Dr. Fremantle who will get the call in the photo.
The result of a photograph for 1st place. First, number 2.
And that thinking was correct. Ryan Moore. The right side this time of a photo for Sir Michael Stout. 2nd in the first race, 1st in this, and despite the horse leaning to his left throughout the straight, and despite the brave rallying of the 2nd, they have got this victory in the Huxley Stakes. Staying on was 2nd, and has really enhanced his profile and status with that run in 2nd for Adam Kirby and Walter Swinburne. And Espresso Star, ditto to him as well, not beaten very far at all in 3rd for Jimmy Fortune and John Gosden, and that was a cracking race for the Huxley Stakes.
Really good one. The 2 horses who are stepping up into this company certainly did step up to the mark, didn't they? I think it was, again, an excellent ride by Adam Kirby, who judged it, appeared to slow it down a little bit halfway once he realised he wasn't being taken on by Yarab there with a chance. He was mainly left to his own devices. He quickened again, turning for home. But you didn't think, when Espresso Star and Dr. Fremantle joined, it didn't game over, particularly up to the trip. But this is how he won a Haydock last year. He is game. He really does try, and it takes 2 to have a race, and he was really coming again on Dr. Fremantle. Dr. Fremantle won well, and he's won his race. It wasn't, an exciting performance by him, I don't think. He's going to have to improve to take on the big boys in Group 1 company on this showing, I think. But he has had a fitness disadvantage with the 1st and the 2nd, and they are progressive, and you'd be happy enough, given he was quite keen early on. Espresso Star, any thoughts now about fast ground being a disadvantage? Everyone's got to forget, haven't they? And they are 2 good runs, and he's run better. He's better than his linking form here with a really good run. He proved he got the trip fine. He just was the 3rd best horse, but only just.
Halicarnassus stumbles there on that bend, and then there's more trouble further back in the pack as Halicarnassus and also Logic Way don't seem to go around that bend particularly well, and that pushes Bushman further out. And the ones towards the rear never really got involved. Adam Kirby slowed the race down, had quite a few horses pulling hard in behind him, one of which was the eventual winner, Dr. Fremantle. Also keen in the early stages, I think, was Expresso Star. Quite a few of them just pulling for their head.
You get the impression that the pace has been steady, don't you? I think Dr. Fremantle has now settled and is in a good position. A couple of other horses to mention. Fairmile ran really well. He's not been beaten far in fourth, and that's easily the best run for Free and Williams. And Godolphin had him last year, and he had the one run. This was a good performance, and another encouraging run, one more encouraging run from James Gibbon. I think Indian Days has really bettered his form at Sandown. He finished the race off better, and they're knocking on the door with him. They had a couple of horses run well the other night, and there's another horse who's run pretty well. He's not really in his company, so you can expect a few winners from the Gibbon Yard in the next few weeks, I think. But the race itself, I think, was dominated by Adam Kirby. I think he's given a really good judgment of pace on staying on. He's got rid of Yarrad before the home turn, and so then when he looked like being swamped, he showed loads of resolution.
He has. He's slightly disappointed with the run of Yarrad.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure he's quite up to this. Is my gut feeling. That is his overall profile. He's not quite Group 3. We had a few horses trying it. Two of them have definitely proved they are, albeit getting beat narrowly. Yarrad on this evidence got a bit to fight, hasn't he?
Yeah, as he's backing out of things there, Bushman doesn't really get involved. Sailing down on the outside past beaten horses is Indian Days. Halicarnassus and Logic Way both had their troubles in the early stages.
They did, and Fairmile actually would have been about a length closer. It was squeezed up the room on the inside. He was filling fourth anyway. It's not cost him a position, but he definitely would have been slightly closer. So that is an encouraging run. I mean, I think Dr. Fremantle slightly caused it by edging across and causing the others to go that way. It was a great race, great finish. I don't think it was a Group 1 winning performance by the winner, but a nice start to his 4-year-old season. And the second and third now can be trained confident in the knowledge that they're up to this company.
Yeah, I take your point about Fairmile. He had to be snatched up is a bit too strong, but he had to be reined back a little bit, didn't he, as the horses came across him to the left-hand side. And Ryan Moore has got his stick in the correct hand, but he is the horse that's causing the leaning and the carrying across to the far rail.
I think Expresso Star's not had the most room, and Jimmy Fortune might well have said, actually he's very slightly inconvenienced him, but the horse who's been most inconvenienced is the fourth, only to the tune of he would have been a half a length or so closer. Luckily it made no material difference to any prize money or whatever he would have earned, but it just gives you, just another reminder that it was a good runner, an encouraging run for them.
Is that something the stewards would look at again?
I would have thought so. They'll have a look just to see if there's any blame to be apportioned. It's definitely caused by the winner edging across, and certainly the horse in green is slightly inconvenienced when the first two come close together. I don't think the runner-up particularly inconvenient, but he's just nudged across a bit further, isn't he? And then you see Fairmile go for a run up the inside. He's not going to get there. He's 3/4 length behind there. Now he snatches up and he gets beat a length and a half or so by them. He would have been 3/4 length closer, something like that.
Okay. Wrong side of the race in the first race, right side this time round. Ryan Moore and Sir Michael Stout have won the 2009 Huxley Stakes with Dr. Fremantle.
Yeah, they have indeed. He's won despite being a little bit keen in the early stages and wide, and then Ryan got him tucked in after the first bend, and then he ran a little bit more sweetly for him. So I think it's a good start to his season. There'll be more to come from him. You see Fairmile there getting squeezed up a little bit. I think it was the second, really. He's edging under a right-hand drive rather than Fremantle coming across too much. Ryan Moore switched his whip pretty quickly when Dr. Fremantle started to drift. Even money, short head winner from staying on, 6-1, Expresso Star 11 to 4-9 ran.